Hey folks. Well, I had a package delivered to my house today, which I was not expecting till Saturday. So I got to get my tail moving. But we got a little package from Brothers Worms Farm. So I ordered, obviously, as you know, for this composting video, I ordered some old-fashioned red wigglers. And so the thing we were trying to figure out is what were the best worms to get for composting. So I was trying to research that. So I called a worm farm here locally for us, but they only carry the European big red worms. A lot of people like to fish with those good big red worms. But they're not as good as the old-fashioned regular red wigglers. So I asked the guy if he knew anybody that had red wigglers. He said, not around here that he knows of that sells them. So I looked online, couple different companies, and I saw this one called Brothers Worm Farm. And I said, well, I'm gonna order some. And they had some red wigglers. So I ordered 1,000 worms. And it came today. So we're gonna open the box and see what we're getting into here. So doesn't look like 1,000 worms would be in here, but all right. So it comes in a little baggie.
There's worms in there?
Brothers Worms Farm. It says there's worms in there. So
oh my heavens! Hold that up again. Wow.
it should be a pound of worms. I'm gonna see that. But it says that we need to keep these things between 45 and 90 degrees until placed in a bin. Do not put the worms in the refrigerator. Moisten the bedding in their shipping bag and leave the worms indoors in their shipping bag, or a plastic container with airflow is a better option for a short-term 1 to 2 day storage. To ready our bin, it tells us we need to put some shredded cardboard, peat moss, or topsoil on the bottom of your bin to a depth of 3 inches. Mist the bedding with water until 2 to 3 drops emerge when a handful is squeezed. So I need to do that. Dump the worms with their original bedding into the bin, and it says it needs to be at least 3 inches deep. You can use composted food that's fully composted, leaves, grass clippings, etc. And then it tells us how to feed the worms. So we're gonna go get my containers, come back. I've been shredding some paper to get ready for them, but I don't have the bins in the house. I'm gonna put them in. It says to keep them acclimated the first day or two, and since we've got a front coming through, it's gonna get cold in the next night or two. I think I'm gonna keep them in the house the first few days, let them get acclimated to their bins, and then move them outside into the insulated freezer that we have outside. So, time to get busy. All right, folks, well, we got the bins, and I started putting some of the shredded paper that I've had shredded in there. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So, we got some shredded paper that's probably, a couple inches thick. And I'm going to add some more to this bin and try to half these worms if I can. If they're all, I'm gonna look at the worms and see, but if they're all little bitty worms, I may put them all in this bin at first, and then as they get larger and multiply, transfer some over there. But I'm gonna get us a good bin ready. I'm gonna get some soil, some sand to add to it, and moisten. I've got to moisten this. It says to moisten it so that when I squeeze it, that I get a couple drops out of it, so they have some moisture. So these are our bins. I'll just pop these on like this when we're done, so they have a little airflow, like that. And there we have it. We got some worm bins, so we'll get this process started. Here, that's what I need to get by you. Oh, praise the Lord for this rain.
See right there, and just slowly turn it on. Woo! Or you can put it out in the rain.
How to get any out of it, so
You gonna wet it some more?
probably need to give it a little bit more. Barely squeeze any moisture out of it. All right, so I moistened the bedding. Thank the Lord we're getting some rain. And there I can squeeze just barely a few drops out, and that's what we want. So I got a pretty good layer of that down. We're gonna put some sand in there. Just because they say worms need grit too. Then I've got some of dirt.
There's worms in there.
Yeah, there probably is. That gives me at least gives me at least 3 inches of bed.
Gosh.
Get that, we're gonna break it in the house, and we're gonna moisten these worms and open them up, let them out. Alright, so we're gonna open up our little worms here and see what we got. I might have to, without hurting myself.
Watch that finger.
I'm just getting it under it if I can. There it goes. We're gonna open this thing
I
up.
can't believe worms come that way.
We're gonna pour them out in here and see.
Look at the worms. Oh, I hope they stay in and don't come out. It's 1,000 worms.
It's supposed to be 1,000 worms
Oh,
in there.
dear heavens. 1,000 worms is in my house. Eek.
They're already going to the bottom.
Look at 'em.
So you can see the worms in there. And they're all small. But that's the best composted worms right there. There they go. So they got a little peat moss. And they'll dig their way down in there. And it says that we need to keep them tonight, keep a lid on them. I'll moisten the top of this dirt. We'll keep a lid on them. A lid off of them tonight. And it says keep a light on them for the first night. Night 2, I'll let them, just stay acclimated. It recommends about a 4-ounce banana smashed in there for tonight, the first feeding, and then you can come back and see if they've eaten it. We're gonna go put it back there in the bedroom on a cardboard box and
There's a bug in there.
see how we do it. Well, that's because it's compost, babe.
I know.
But
There's a bug
here,
in my house.
let's go take it to the bedroom. Just a little. All right, we need to get some feed for them. So I need to see. I wonder if Danette's got a banana. I thought I saw she had a couple bananas on her table.
Right.
I may walk over there and see if Stumpy's got any real quick. Hey, I got some nanners.
But you don't need all of them at one
No,
time.
so it says 4 ounces. Maybe half of this. 2 to 4 ounces.
I would probably say about
Half.
a half or a quarter.
So we're gonna do half of a banana. And we'll mash it up. I'm just gonna mash up some banana and throw it in there. It smells good. The banana does, at least. Ain't no more trying to escape. Well, that one worm's already on them bananas. Look at there. You see him?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll check it tomorrow and see how much they've eaten of it. It's about every. we'll there we go. There's some nanners. Look at there. He's already scoping out the banana. In the morning we'll check it and see. It's some yummy stuff, isn't it? Boys and girls. All right, so I'll do another catch-up video tomorrow, see how they eat the bananas, see if we have any die or leaves on the ground. They say that's possible, but we'll start feeding these rascals and seeing if we can get them to stay and eat and make some compost. All that paper under there, they got some dirt, they got some of this peat moss stuff that they shipped them in, and a little food and a little moisture. So we'll pray that does them good tonight. So, all right. All right, folks, so I'm moving the worms out here now, and I fed them, and they finally eaten about, but there they are. I'm breaking some of this stuff up. They're eating on some of this. This is not completely broken down, and I think they're digging through it. You can see the worms in there, but I'm going to add a little bit more dirt. To it and just see how they do. But they've been in there for, I guess, over a week now, and you know, got red wigglers. So we shall see. Trial that worming.
So would this be closed down on top of them?
I'll put a board here, and you know, put the cardboard over the top. And then that, and the board will just let air travel in there.
Okay.
So
would the other bucket like this go in there too?
Yeah. We'll if they multiply enough, then we'll put another bucket in and slide this one down.
Okay.
I just got to get a shovel and get a little bit more of that.
Oh, Remington. That ain't gonna work, is it?
It sure will. Just add a little bit. Put some more. More, and I'll put a little bit.
Gotta love our compost.
I'll sprinkle a little more. And there's some stuff in there that's almost broken down that I'm sure they'll like to finish. And we'll throw some feed on top of that today.
All right. Yay. Looks like it was a success so far. We'll see how it does out here, huh?
Well, they're living. Put that, crack that lid on it like that. Either that or I'll do this on this end. There it goes.
Okay.
And that way it'll have some air. Some moisture might get in there, but that's okay. All right, so just gonna wait, see how they do. Hopefully it'll work. And just using this old freezer to store them out here. If all else fails, I could always keep them just like I did in my shop in a container, because it wasn't a big deal. But at some point we want to be able to, Jason and them want to make some worm tea if possible, so we're going to figure out how that process works. But right now I can stick them in there. If it gets a little moist, it's gonna run out. I need to see how much water gets in it actually. So I'll put my plug in and see how that does. But, all right. Y'all keep watching, we'll see how they do. But thank you for watching, and we'll try to periodically give you an update on the worms, how they're doing.